Hey y'all, how's it going? Um, Welcome to the first episode of whatever this is. I was thinking like Friday Feels or something. I don't know. I'll come up with a name for it. But it's gonna be like a weekly Friday video that I upload, just talking because I started this channel about helping people with mental health, and I wanted to be able to talk about what I'm going through and everything. And while I started with the Banjo Kazooie series, kind of talking every episode about what was going on, it kind of got to a point where I couldn't talk about new stuff all the time. I still here and there talk about everything. Pretty much every episode has something I talk about my mental health in, but there's nothing dedicated to it. There's the one dedicated to the charity, but it's not dedicated to me talking about it. And the big reason I started the channel was to be able to openly talk about what I'm going through, to help other people feel comfortable and know they're not alone in everything, because that helped me a lot when it came to the YouTube community. So I wanted to get back to being able to talk about it and everything. So with this, first I've had anxiety about not saying this whole time because I wanted to start with it, but I wanted to say that in no way is this meant to replace therapy. I'm not a therapist in any way. I'm just or medical anything. I'm just trying to talk about what I'm going through to maybe help somebody realize they're not alone, help them know that other people go through things, maybe help somebody feel like they have a safe space or something. So yeah, so still get help otherwhere. This is not in any way meant to be something to replace anything else. It's just meant as something to help outside of that, I guess. Kind of like a friend. I want to be a friend to y'all and be there to listen, but also to make you feel comfortable and make you know you're not alone, as I said, because that's a big thing. That was a big thing for me on YouTube, like seeing other people that go through what I go through made me feel a lot more comfortable and made me feel like I belonged and I wasn't so different and there wasn't so much wrong with me and everything. I've never really thought about how much it really, like, I knew it helped me. I really never really thought about how much it and how many ways it impacted me. But yeah, so I want to use the series to get into that. I want to have other people on, people I know personally, people I don't even know, people to talk to me about what I go through and ask questions and talk about the outside perspective, how they've seen things or how they felt about knowing about the things that I go through or what they've noticed about me or what's changed with me or whatnot. And then people to talk about their own stuff so I can ask them questions and we can kind of try to relate and talk about the differences between, because everybody's anxiety and everybody's depression is different, so we could kind of talk about the differences. Maybe that'll help people. This episode's mainly going to be geared towards this, talking about what I plan on doing and kind of giving an overview. I don't know how long I want the episodes to be. I want them to be a little bit longer. I want there to be no editing, so if I seem kind of like I'm just saying random stuff or saying something over and over again, it's because I don't want a lot of gaps, but I want to stick to the topic. And I know I'm jumping back and forth, but once something enters my brain, I have to say it. Especially if I start getting anxiety about it. It's like I want to say this in the video. I want to say this in the video. So things might jump around everywhere. It'll probably be better when I get other people on. But I want to just hop through a few things and then I might talk about a couple of things that I'm going through currently or something. Eventually I want to start diving deeper into things that I've been through. I just don't know where to start there. I want to let everything come naturally, and I can't think of the word that I actually wanted to say there. But I want it all to like flow naturally. I don't want to force talk about something. I want it to come up on its own. That's what I'm doing now. It's just whatever I think of is what I'm saying because I want it to be real. I want it to just let everything out and not have to go by a script or anything. I thought about doing a script for this. I decided not to. I know I was doing it for the Banjo Kazooie stuff, but I feel like I've grown a lot since then and I've gotten better at being able to talk to the camera and everything. So hopefully I can stick with stuff. First, while I'm thinking about it, I said first again, like I haven't been talking about other stuff, but I want to talk, I want to give a way for y'all to talk to me. Yes, I have the Discord down below where y'all can reach out and talk, and I have Twitter or whatever. But I want to be able to answer questions people might have if it's about me or something they're going through or how I can relate to it or something. So just pop something down in the comment section down below if you have anything you want to talk to me about, that you want to know about me or what I've gone through or what I think the reason that I've gotten that things happen, why I think certain ways and stuff. Just let me know down in the comments, ask a question or whatever. It'll help me a lot to have kind of a guide of something to talk about next time, because I do want to make sure these come out every Friday, because I do feel like I haven't done as much as I'd like to be able to truly. I've done the charity and everything, and that makes me feel good, even though, which the link will be at the top of the description box below, even though like I haven't got a lot of donations and stuff to it. As the channel grows, I know that'll grow, and as the channel grows, I know I'll reach more people, and that's why I wanted to start this kind of early. I wanted to get a hang of this, get into the motions of it, so when the channel does grow, I'll kind of have this down, and it won't feel as, because it's kind of in its infancy now. It has to grow and become something. So I want, by the time the channel gets bigger, I want it to become something, because the channel keeps growing. So I expect it to keep growing. I hope it keeps growing, because it has been so far. But yeah. So let me know down in the comments if you have anything you want to talk about. You can go into the Discord and talk to me about stuff. If anybody wants to come on and talk to me about something, if you don't feel scared about talking to stuff in front of people, feel free to DM me on Twitter, or message me on Twitter, message me in Discord, or even leave a comment. I'll try to reply to the comment too. I feel so bad. I want to reply to people's comments when they comment on my videos. I always want to reply, but it's like, I never know what to say. So I do make sure I always heart them and like them. It's just, I don't know, like, I don't want to just say thank you, because it feels kind of just disingenuous. Even though that's how I actually feel. It's like, thank you for commenting. It really means the world. Like, taking the time out to leave a comment, to stop by and view my videos and hit the like button. It really means a lot. Like, I can't even explain how much it means, but I don't. It's hard to, like, put that, like, to say. I don't want to just say that either. It's like, but I don't know how to reply to the comments. It's like when I watch other people's videos, I want to leave comments, but I never know what to say. I get a bit of anxiety about it, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, they think I'm not supporting them, even though there's people who support me, and I want them to know I'm also out there watching their stuff and supporting, because I support a lot of smaller YouTubers too, because, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of these people are doing great things and doing stuff to help people, and I want to help them grow too, so I want them to know I'm supporting them. I just don't know how to comment and whatever, so I feel kind of bad about that all the time. That leads me to something else. This is how I meant, like, I kind of wanted stuff to flow, but it leads me to something else of that I was thinking about earlier. I was thinking about reaching out to some people I haven't talked to in a while, some people that I was really close to, or that I've talked to about certain things, or that know certain things about me that, like, nobody else does or something. And it's just not even just that, just old friends or something, people that I've just lost contact with because I have an issue with talking to people. And then I'm like, well, if I message them now and we talk for like a week, I know I'm just going to fall back into the point where I just don't text anybody back and I don't talk to anybody. Because I have like 4 or 5 people I'll regularly talk to, but even if there's people that I genuinely want to talk to, want to be friends with, and I do consider them friends, even though if it's been a year or 2 years or just a few months since we've talked, it's just hard for me to reach out to people, and I feel bad. And then I also get worried that they're gonna think I'm using them or something, or that, like, it's so many. Like, I have this one friend, I'll message him every few months or whatever, and we'll talk about stuff. And it's like, I don't want him to think I'm like, it's like, I'm worried that people think I'm using them for stuff, or like I'm feeling bad, or I just need a friend, or I'm reaching out to them just to make sure they're watching my YouTube videos, which I feel like sometimes people might think. It's just because I don't reach out and talk to people as much as I'd like, and I want to get better at that. But I know once I start getting better at that, eventually I'm going to fall back into it. So I need to gradually get better at everything, rather than trying to jump straight to, because I'll have those points in time where I'll feel like doing everything. I'll feel like jumping forward and doing everything the right way, and actually being in a good place where my anxiety is not really affecting everything, where I want to talk to everybody, where I want to clean and all this stuff, want to be on a diet or whatever. And it'll last a while, but then I'll fall straight back down. It needs to be a gradual incline to being better, instead of, sorry, my mouth is getting dry, but it needs to be a gradual incline to getting better, rather than that jump, because after that jump I just fall back into everything. But that's kind of what I meant by I want to just let things flow, instead of having a script or anything, just kind of let one topic flow into another like that. And it's going to make things be all over the place, but I think it's more genuine that way, instead of writing everything down and just kind of letting what comes to mind come out, because that's how I guess y'all could be able to even tell that it's just me talking instead of, just saying what I think people want to hear or anything. It's literally just whatever is coming to my mind, and now I can't think of what I really want to talk about, and this is bothering me. But yeah, so I don't. If you haven't watched, sorry, I'm all over the place, can't decide what word to say. But if you haven't watched the first video that I posted on this channel, it probably seems like crap now compared to the content I make now. But it does go into a lot of like what I'm going through and the reasons I made this channel and everything. So you could give that a watch, even though it's probably not as easy to watch as something like this, because it's kind of all over the place. It was my first video, so it was kind of shaky, especially with my anxiety and everything. And sorry, I keep looking away from the camera too. It's wandering eyes help is what I do when I'm thinking. But I wanted to say something. I forgot what it was. That's why I have to say something right away. That's like I get lead into something else. I get really bad anxiety sometimes because I'll accidentally interrupt people, and I don't do it on purpose. It's just when something pops into my mind, I guess I get anxiety that I'm gonna forget what was in my mind, so I have to say it right away. So I accidentally do it, and I don't do it on purpose. And if I catch myself, I will apologize. It's just, and then I feel bad, and then I think the person thinks I'm being selfish. And it's literally just my reaction. It's not something that I think of before I do it. It's just an action, and I think it comes from that anxiety of forgetting what I'm gonna say, and then because I'm so quiet all the time, when I actually think of something I want to say it. And I'm always scared I can't keep a conversation going, so actually having something to help with the conversation, I guess, I want to add that to it right away. So it's like sometimes I do that on accident, but I also forgot what I was going to talk about. So it's like, oh yeah, go back and watch that video, because I do go into like kind of what I want to do with this. I don't want to repeat a lot, but it will probably end up being repeated throughout this series if I'm going to be doing it every Friday. But so I don't want to all at once. I don't want to basically do the same video again, even though this has been way longer and way more in this video than there was in that one. And I'm not going to do cuts or anything, so this one might seem a little strange and out there. I'm just trying to get a structure to what I want to do, but I feel like just talking like this, I know nobody's going to really sit through this, but I'm hoping this helps me. Even if nobody sits through it, I'm hoping it helps me kind of build and get better at this, because eventually I want this helps me in a way that I get better at this, and being better at this will help people want to sit through it, which eventually will help people. So even if this video itself doesn't help people, it can lead to a video that can help people is what I'm hoping for here. I'll probably get longer episodes into this. I'll probably start off shorter, and the more when I bring on guests and the more I grow and stuff, the more I get used to this, the longer I'll be able to get them, I think, because it's not the same. I don't have the video games to talk about and everything. That's why I did video games with this, though. It's not a video game channel. It's just having the video games to watch while I'm talking about stuff, or having the video game to talk about or do stuff with in between me thinking of what I'm talking about. I feel like makes it easier for people to watch. So if you're watching the gameplay, you'll be able to stay for me talking about stuff, instead of just sitting here watching me talk right now, because it's not the most entertaining thing to just see me sitting here talking about everything. But I feel like this kind of medium, having a podcast type thing, growing this way, doing this regularly, setting up a regular schedule, doing this, will both help me, because it'll help me get stuff off my chest, but also help do what I wanted to do with the channel. And I keep repeating kind of the same thing over and over again, but I keep thinking of better ways to explain it. So I'm like, I want to explain it this way. I want to explain it this way, because I want people to kind of understand, even though, as I said, I don't believe people are going to really watch this one all the way through. But, yeah, I'll kind of, if you haven't seen that first video, that's why I went to it. I'll talk about like some of my issues real quick. I do suffer from unspecified anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, agoraphobia, and insomnia. I'm trying to think of what else I've been technically diagnosed with. I think that's it right now. It's linked to PTSD from trauma that I had when I was younger. don't know exactly what. Um, I had somebody try to dive into it with me, a psychiatrist, but that's not what the psychiatrist is for. Even though I've always found it easier to talk to psychiatrists than psychologists for some reason. I don't know why that is. I need to get back into talking to a therapist though. It's just I've always had issues with my therapist. But it's something that you gotta just find the right one. I think, and it's just I've never. There was a chaplain at when I was hospitalized for my depression. At one point, there was a chaplain I actually sat there and talked to for a couple hours, which was strange, but it was like, I don't know, something we met on like an intellectual level, which made me feel like I could talk to her a lot easier and just let things out. And it was kind of it just I don't know it was easy to talk to her. But yeah, I suffer from all those things. I have for a long time, but I didn't realize until I would say later in my life. I guess it's later in my life considering where my life is now. Closer to my age now than like my teenage years is when I realized that I was suffering from stuff, which it made things easier and harder at the same time. Cause it made it easier because I kind of knew what I was going through, but it made it harder because then I guess sometimes I have that to fall back on. It's like, oh, I'm doing this because of this. Eventually I'll get better. So it's okay that I'm doing this right now because it's because of this and I'll get better or whatever. And I know I use that as an excuse to fall back on. And sometimes I don't do it on purpose. It's just kind of what happens I've always had, as far as I can remember, I had anxiety, and I kind of can tell when the depression started to come in. I think I've had anxiety much longer because I always had high expectations for myself and like kind of expected too much of myself, and I think that forced me to have anxiety even as a kid. And then depression started to come on a little closer to like my middle school, teenage years than the anxiety did. But I can remember things from like elementary school that I'm like, yeah, that was because of my anxiety that I didn't realize. Obviously, at that time I didn't realize, but it took me a very long time to realize that like my anxiety was the reason that stuff was happening. It's so crazy thinking that I still stress about something that I did in third grade, like, and freak out about it. It's like, why did I do that? I wish I could take that back. And it's like, those people probably don't even remember me anymore. But I'm still stressing about this certain thing that I did in front of people or something, this certain thing that made me look stupid or weird. And it's just, that's how anxiety works for me. I stress about every little thing and I remember things from that far back, a mistake I made that long ago. And still stress about it to this day and keeps me up at night sometimes. Literally something that happened in third grade, actually, I think about while laying awake at night sometimes. It gets bad at times. I also believe I have attention issues, but I haven't been diagnosed with everything because I took a test, and they told me I did too well on the test to have attention issues, but I knew I was getting distracted during the test. I was in a room with nothing else in there to distract me, and at points I was like daydreaming, looking at the wall. But if they had put me in a room with any distractions, I feel like they would have seen that but I haven't been diagnosed with that yet. But I'm just only bringing that up because I'm trying to touch on everything that I go through. Like, I can't get through a page of a book. I want to try to read, like, I really like stories and stuff because I use them to escape. I've talked about it a lot on the channel. I use movies and TV shows and stuff to kind of escape my life and feel like I'm in another world, in another life, away from the anxiety, away from the depression and everything. So I want to be able to read. I feel like a book would be a good place for me. That's how it was when I tried to read back in the day. I could kind of put myself in the book, make myself one of the characters in the book. Not actually reading, but like I'm alongside these people, like I'm friends with these people or something, and kind of feel like I'm escaping from my own life. But I can't even read a page without getting distracted. It's like trying to do something else. And that's one big reason that I think this move is going to help me a lot, is having an office where it's just this. I don't have the TV to distract me. I don't have all this stuff around me. It's going to be an enclosed room. I feel like it'll take away some of the distractions and I'll be able to focus more on YouTube and everything. I know I'm kind of rambling and I'm not, like I said, I'm not on any track. Hopefully I get to a point on the channel where I keep things on track and keep to one subject. But yeah, I think I don't even I know I talked a lot about anxiety. Did I talk about a lot about anxiety on the channel more than anything? Which is weird. I started out talking about depression more than anything, and I got anxiety about the fact that I didn't talk about my anxiety enough. And now I pretty much only talk about my anxiety, but it's because my depression hasn't been bad lately. But I think when I started this channel, my depression was bad, so I kind of just, whatever I'm going through at the time is what I stick with. My anxiety is pretty much always bad, but when my depression is bad, it's obviously, I wouldn't say worse, but it's kind of a worse feeling, because it's more of, the anxiety, I'm just freaking out about something. Depression, like legitimately sad and crying for no reason at times, and I'm in a dark hole and everything. And the anxiety is just, it's bad. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I wouldn't say either's worse. It's just, I don't know. When I'm depressed, I prefer to talk about the depression than anxiety, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Especially since I always had anxiety, so I always have that to talk about. Now it's not always as bad as it gets, but you know, it's always there. It's always lingering. It's always, like, every time I record, it's in the back of my head. It's like, oh, I'm making a mistake. I'm doing this wrong. It's been like this whole time because I know I'm saying stuff, and I'm going all over the place. I'm like, people aren't going to want to listen to this because there's no cohesive, like, flow to it or anything. And then, but it's also like, I need to do this to be able to get to a point where it becomes easier to have that flow. I'll get used to doing everything. And especially if people watch this and they're like, oh, I like where it's going, and they want to come on and talk to me and stuff, I know having guests and stuff will make it easier. And maybe this will even help people that I know me better if they actually sit through and watch this. Yeah. So I do plan on doing this weekly, as I said at the beginning. I kind of dove into a few things in there. I didn't stick in anything too long. I think about 25 minutes will be it for right now. I'm going to try to get it around that time. Obviously, it'll be shorter for some. If I can't think of something, I don't want to keep it going. And if I'm in the middle of a story, I want to keep the story going, so I'll make it go longer. But I want to try to get it around the time. Do the best I can. Obviously, I don't want it to be really short. If it's really long, I think I'd be okay with it, just because if it gets that long, it means I'm in a story. It means I'm in a moment. It means I'm being genuine and actually telling a topic and kind of letting stuff off my chest. So if it gets longer, it's probably something you want to watch, because it'd be something that delves more into the issues. So it'd probably be something to help more, or to help you learn more about me or something. So those are probably the best ones to watch. I'll be back with another episode next week. I'm going to try to get some people on to talk with and everything. And we'll see where this goes. Hopefully this is something that can become a staple of the channel, because this is the whole reason I made it. And hopefully y'all enjoy this. If you did, hit that like button. Leave comments down below for something for me to talk about next time, or for any ideas what I can do with this to make it more of something you can sit through and watch. Without adding like the video games and stuff to it, because I do want this like genuine sit down type thing. Eventually I do want this to turn into streams possibly, or do streams and this, but right now I just don't feel like there's enough people that come out to have them to talk to really. It'd still be me doing this, but I don't know, it wouldn't feel the same. But yeah, I'm just rambling now. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, for more of this. Hopefully this gets better. I know this wasn't the greatest of first episodes, but I gotta kind of feel it out, as I said earlier. But I love you all, and hope to see you back here next time.